were some of your biggest like artistic influences?
Monet, Basquiat a lot, Van Gogh, kind of people who like kind of went through the same phases as I did, like depression and having to find yourself and having to like put up this mask as a person who was like famous, and how that really, I mean, not saying that I'm famous, but like saying that people are looking at you like all the time and like judging you 24/7, and then you have to put up this kind of like border to fit their needs, but in reality, it doesn't really matter what people think about you or how people view your actions or how you like challenge life, because at the end of the day, you're yourself and you're the person who has to deal with yourself. And you shouldn't just have to deal with yourself, you should love yourself and like who you're becoming, and not just having to mold into somebody else's character that they're forcing you to become.
You feel like this project has helped you understand how to self-analyze and self-evaluate?
Myself?
Yeah.
In a way, yes. In a big way, because especially with this piece, people were like really frazzled that I was doing this and like not understanding why, and it was like that it's just so much more than a sexual thing. It is not inappropriate. It's like, you know, it's like what I have and what I love, and I don't find it like a sexual organ, like I have, like its main being is something sexual. I don't, and that I feel like it goes way beyond just the vagina. It's like a woman itself. Like I feel like a lot of people in society see women as sex objects, and I'm much more than that. So I had to like have my self dignity and take a voice.
In that self-evaluation, did it help you to see others differently, or evaluate and compare yourself to what to how you see the other people that perhaps are looking at your work and asking you why? You know what I mean? Did you have to kind of look back at yourself and evaluate them and evaluate yourself and come to this consensus as to why you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I feel like that whole like statement "why" came up a lot in this process, because not just from like them asking me why am I doing this, it came from me as well asking why are you having such a like opposite point of view. So I had to understand like where was that coming from, where was that stemming from, and I had to also accept that it's not that there were like evil people. I had to accept that it was coming from a society that they were like born in and brainwashed and like dipped into this whole toxic energy. So I had to like accept and forgive their opinions and their mindsets, because it's not just their fault, it's like where they're coming from.
Would you say that you can understand the human experience a little bit better based on this project that you've done from your own perspective?
I feel like, yeah, and what I took out from that is basically that we're really fragile, and whatever we're fed over like a long course of time really affects how you act in your own life. So when you're fed such negative energy, you tend to give a negative outlook. And it's like literally up to you to think for yourself if that's what you want, or if you want to start going your own path and not having to become like this little test tube baby of society. So.
Would you say that environment plays a big role into how people think and how people perceive their world?
Yes, I feel like that's kind of like a common sense thing if you really think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's so odd because in America, like our society can be totally different from someone like across the world or across seas and just like everywhere. So it's kind of odd when you see how we view a person and versus how like another country views another person, or like race, gender doesn't even have to be like a female.
And it's all based on how their environment, how they perceive their environment.
Yeah.
That's big in theater, what we talk about. So very good, thank you, Priscilla.
Yeah, I'm curious, like some of the like pushback that you got. Was it from like peers or teachers or friends or other people?
It was from almost like peers, teachers, family, everyone.
Really?
Yeah. I had like a bunch of teachers asking me like, why are you doing that? Like, is
Really?
that appropriate? Why are you gonna submit that in your portfolio? Kind of like thing. Like, why basically, and like having to like do like be in the middle of my artwork and people like, is that a vagina? Like that awkwardness, like you make it awkward. Like it's literally not an awkward organ. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing disgusting or.
It's interesting because, you know, in the cinema we can see blood and gore and guts and guns, but when it's time to show, you know, our birthday suits, how we were born, for somehow our society sees that as more grotesque than death and pillaging. You know, I say we're living in the death culture.
Yes.
This is totally a death culture, as opposed to life, which the vagina represents.
It's like a dog eat dog world instead of a love each other kind of.
Exactly, that's where we are. All right.
Cool. Thanks, Priscilla.